Hi, I'm Daniela.
And I'm Samala Kleska. We will be listening to Nathan's speech today.
All right, thank you guys. Okay, co-founder of CCA, or the Corrections Corporation of America, once stated in regards to the topic of prisons, you just sell it, like you were selling cars or real estate or hamburgers. Prison, a place where dangerous individuals are sent off to be rehabilitated and kept away for the safety of the public, right? Well, what if I told you that that would prove wrong in most cases in America as of right now? What if I told you that, in fact, these individuals are purposely deprived of proper rehabilitation tools and rather kept for the profit of larger organizations? Well, that'd be the truth, and today my goal is to shed light on the subject of private prisons and the entities that profit from these faulty rehabilitation programs, and to hopefully spark action in those watching. So, to begin with, let's start off with private prisons and what they are. What do you think of when you think of a prison? Do you think of something that resembles a phone company or a hotel business? Because I sure wouldn't, but starting their company off in 1983, and much like a hotel, CCA has ongoingly privatized and made large profits off of and made an empire of highly profitable contracts, highly based on occupancy rates in hotels. Prisons. But before I get a little bit ahead of myself, why are private prisons even bad? I mean, the government had to have had a reason to let these companies go on for so long, or even start in the first place, and one wouldn't be wrong in asking this question, but once I researched the subject, I found out that these reasons were mostly personal and completely situational in conditions. See, the origin of private prison dates back to the 1980s, where the war on drugs began, where prisons began overcrowding, and this took a substantial toll on the financial stability of the states. And there to save the day and make a little money on the side were private businesses that came in and boasted that they could skim costs off the state's hand by contracting monthly payments, much like rent that you would see in an apartment. But once this began, this started becoming a problem. This started incentivizing these businesses to keep the public scared and wary of prison costs. Much like a phone business or a phone company, these businesses would contract monthly payments instead of having to pay upfront costs for a phone, or in this case, prisoners. The state would only have to pay monthly costs, and this would provide a quote-unquote cheaper experience. But in fact, as reflected by Arizona's state's prison system in 2011, quote, the state's own data indicated that inmates in private prisons can cost up to more than $1,600 more per year, while money costs about the same as they do in state-run prisons, unquote. Now that we know what private prisons are and where they come from, why does it even matter at all? Firstly, private prisons, unlike the hospitality found in hotels, have a long-standing history of countless scandals. The Public Safety and Justice Campaign reported in 2013 that private prisons have, quote, a record of prisoner abuse, poor pay and benefits to employees, scandals, escapes, and lawsuits marking their history, unquote. Which, for the amount of $1 million that are invested into their facilities, would have me doing the turning down. But secondly, and most importantly, the intentions of these private prisons isn't for rehabilitation, it's for money. And we as the taxpayers are the funders of these prisons, meaning that we're paying up to $1,600 more per year than we need to for not rehabilitating these individuals. We're paying these companies up front. And in fact, conveyed by a popular journalism outlet in Alternate in 2013, quote, occupancy guarantee clauses in private prisons contracts range between 80% and 100%, with 90% as the most frequent occupancy guarantee requirement, unquote, meaning that these companies are cheating us off, pretty much. So, what can we do? What's our role in this? Most obviously, what we can do is talk to state legislators and push for a change, pressing these legislators to cut these contracts and pay the upfront costs instead, which might provide a cheaper experience, and also helping encourage the implementation of programs that help rehabilitate these individuals, that help cut prisons down in their occupancy rates and puts out of business these private organizations. But secondly, and most importantly, is creating a grassroots movement or joining one, which helps educate the public and makes a movement from the bottom up. Making sure that people are educated on the problem is the first step to making sure that the problem is fixed. So all in all, and with the information that I've said in mind, privatized prisons are outdated, oversold, unethical, and money siphoning systems. Despite the significant decrease in today's national prison occupancy and population, these private prisons are left unscathed because of these insane contracts. But that doesn't mean that they're necessarily untouchable. So to begin with, I'm going to implore you to please make a change, to make correctional systems free again. And if not for the better of others, then hopefully for the better of your pockets. Thank you.